Welcome to Risk Minds International with me, Liz McKean. I'm joined by Jacques Beyssade from BPCE. So, Jacques, first of all, what are the key challenges for CROs in today's world?
I think really, Liz, it's to do more with less. Do more because we are faced with increasing regulatory constraints, demands that are more and more challenging by the day from all different places, all different kinds of regulators, not just the banking regulators, and also because we are faced with new risks. Political risks is arising in areas where we thought it had long disappeared. So we have to do more, and we have to do more with less because we are faced with constraints on our revenues, very low interest rates that are very hard for banks, especially in Europe, to survive into. And we are faced with digital competition, which also puts some constraints on our revenue generation.
And given those challenges, what are you doing in your own organization to mitigate the risks?
We are trying to get better organized. As we have lots of things to do, it's important to prioritize properly, keep the view of what is really important and what is just nice to have, but maybe not as important. So get the priorities right and then automatize whatever we can automatize because we have scarce resources, human resources, people that are well paid, that are expert, etc. We cannot multiply them indefinitely, therefore we have to automatize all of the processes that can be automatized, rely on new techniques, machine learning, data processing in order to free up some time.
And how do you think that CROs are adapting to all of this change?
It requires a lot of agility, certainly. I think it requires also the ability to see the big picture, not get completely lost by the avalanche of regulation and follow line by line everything you have to do, but also keep an eye on what is really important for the board, for the firm you work with, in order to set your priorities right.
And what do you see as the biggest threat to the banking sector in the foreseeable future?
I think in terms of risks, I'm Chief Risk Officer, so in terms of risks, non-financial risks, the non-traditional ones are now becoming more and more important, maybe more important than the good old credit risk, market risk. We have conduct risk, we have cybercrime, we have non-financial risks that financially weigh more than the traditional financial risks. I think that's on the risk side what is really threatening for us today. Aside from that, we also have challenges on our business models. I mentioned earlier the very low interest rate environment that is making it hard for us to defend our revenue generation. Digital competition, lots of new entrants, providing services in some of the areas. We sell all kinds of financial products in BPCE, so each part of it can be attacked by a new entrant with just one product that is digital, easy to do, and usually very cheap or even free of charge. So that's also putting additional pressure on us. We have this business model pressure at the same time as new risks arising, especially non-financial risks.
And in your experience, is this a very hard time to be a CRO?
It requires very bright people, obviously, but it's also a time where the CRO becomes more in relation with the board of directors and more involved in strategic decisions. This is something we see in all banks. We've done it in our bank, but it's true more generally across the world. So certainly it's a function that is drawing more attention and requiring additional resources compared to what was the case a few years ago.
Thanks very much indeed, Jacques Beyssade.
Thank you, Liz.